Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin mommy, and it's Tuesday, February 26th. Didn't end up having any time yesterday to film, so here I am today. And I've got a quick weekly update for you on what I've been stitching and a couple other things. First, if you watched last week's video, I was telling you how I was impatiently waiting for my diamond painting supplies, and there was a package delivered during my video that turned out to not be it. But when I came home from picking up my kids that afternoon, it was delivered. So my video had already finished uploading, so it wasn't worth going back and adding it on. But I got my diamond painting supplies on Monday. So that kind of took over a little bit of my plans because there's only so much free time to be had. And if I have this much time to do stuff fun and I'm planning to stitch and then I get my diamond painting supplies and I want to organize those, I'm going to do that, and then I don't have time to stitch. So that first Monday night, and I don't know that I did anything on Monday, but Tuesday I think I ended up organizing my supplies instead of stitching. So that's the way it goes. So if you remember, at the beginning of the year I'm going to be doing Quick Stitch Twinkle Tulip by Hannah Disney. It's a Heaven and Earth Designs pattern that I bought from the website as a PDF. And then I ordered my supplies from Stitches to Stones, an Australian company that shipped from China. So I bought this kit of boxes from Amazon, and it comes with 4 of these boxes. You can buy these boxes in like 1s, 2s, 3s, and I got the packet of 4 because I needed enough for all 89 or 90 colors. And I keep my main tools in there as well. But I'll show you real quick what these look like. So I have like, each box has like 28, and they have all the colors in them, and they look so fun. So pretty. And then each one has a little set of 4 that you can just open one color at a time, dump them out onto the little tray, use them, and then my tray has an opening here on the end. There, you can see that. And so it just dumps right back into the little box when I'm done with that color. So it works really well. And of course they're numerically organized, and one little box, they look teeny tiny, but one little box will hold 4 packets of the little resins, which is pretty good. So I have like 3 slots of a few colors and 2 slots of a few more, but most colors just have 1 because you can fit so many in there. So and I got a little bit of a start on it, not much. This is my canvas that I also bought from Stitches to Stones. It's a blank canvas, and this is 5 stitches too short width-wise for my pattern, but it's like 10 stitches too long. On this side, they came in pre-cut sizes. Here comes my cat. So I decided to go with this one because it's a little bit too big on one side and it's only a little bit too small on the other side, and I'd rather cut off 5 stitches from one side and rather than buy a larger canvas and have too much extra. So I first started in the upper left hand corner because that's what you do when that's the way you read and write. So I got a couple little purple stitches, resins there, and then I realized this isn't going to work because I would like to maybe rest my hand here while I'm doing it, and that's the sticky part. When you've opened it up, like you have your hand on the sticky part. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go over here and I'll work on the right side first. And this came cut down the middle, so it's really easy. Kitty, you're not helping. It's really easy just to peel back the top half and then work one column at a time. So it's like half the top. Oh my word, not again. Yeah, get down. It looks like it's a little more than half, but the top chunk in columns, and then I can, as I'm working, I can rest my hand either on the table, or as I go farther I'll be able to rest it on the finished section. So So that'll work a lot better. So I finished up this last column last night just so I could have it to show you. I was doing a lot of this yellow stuff with my son because he has his diamond painting now too that he got for Christmas, and so he's really enjoying doing this with me at the same time, but I wanted to finish it up last night to show you, so I did this last part without him. This is a blank grid. It's sticky, and I keep my pattern page just right next to it and go, you know, reference it as I go, just as I would cross stitch, and I'm highlighting my pattern page just like I would cross stitch, and so far it's working pretty well. So that's how far I am on mine, and my son wanted me to show you his too because he's made good progress on his. So this is what his looked like the last time I showed you, and here it is now. He has this whole corner with the big fireball is finished, which he's very proud of. He just finished that recently, and then he decided to move over to this column, or this corner, and he did this on his own. His is like a clear sticky stuff. So he's got a few, this is not easy. There we go, maybe that'll work. He's got a few up here in this top corner that and what he told me he wants to do is he wants to finish out this corner to match this one, and then he's gonna so he'll do this corner, and then he's gonna fill in the rest of the rectangle down here, and then he's gonna do this corner, and then fill in the rest of the rectangle on the top. So that's his plan, and he's 8, and I think he's doing pretty good. So that's his dragon piece that he's working on, which he loves to work on while I'm working on mine. So now that it's here, I'll probably have more impetus to work on my diamond painting than I did with my other one because of him. He'll probably, you know, Mommy, can you come play, you know, diamond paint with me now? You know, so there'll be a lot more of that going on. So I may show you progress on that more frequently than my last one, since that one was just worked on by myself, and it was easy to say, no, I have other things I need to get done with my stitching and whatnot. So diamond painting is not going to take over my life. It's fun to have one on the go, but that's the extent of it for now. And I'm happy with that, and I don't care how long it takes me. It's just a fun diversion every once in a while. So on Saturday, I went to a stitching meetup with Shelly, Key X Stitch, and Colette, the Highway Stitcher, and Candace of Slub Lover Stitches, and 3 ladies from the SoCal Stitchers group, Kathy, Sandy, and Jacqueline. And we all met at a Panera, and we ate and stitched and chit-chatted, and a few of us later went over to an LNS and looked around. I did not buy anything at the LNS. It was close to going out of business, so it didn't have a huge selection, and so a couple of things that I was tempted to get they didn't have in stock, and nothing else really appealed to me or called to me, so I left there with no damage. And the meetup was really nice. I'll include a picture of the 4 of us who went to the LNS together. It was We of the Needle in Brea, so if you're nearby, go visit it in the next month or 2, because I think it's only around that long from what we heard. And Shelly had picked up a pattern last year sometime from a thrift shop in Oregon and gave that to me while we met, and it's the Butternut Road Once Upon a Time, and it has a maiden with a dove and a castle in the background. So I thought that was really fun. And this reminded me that I have been wanting to do a Mirabilia / Fancy Lady parade, since there were a lot of people who were doing those maybe the end of last year. I was just not in a good space with the time to do that, and I was kind of waiting on this one. I knew it was coming. But maybe coming up here in the next week, I can hopefully find time for that. Maybe Friday. It's been a long time since I've showed my finishes, since about 2 years ago when I first started my channel. So I think I will, when I do a Fancy Lady Parade, I'll show my 6 Mirabilia finishes, plus I have a lavender and lace finish I can post a picture of, and then show you my whips and all the stash that I have. So if anyone's interested in that, that will be a separate video, hopefully forthcoming in the next week or so. So, without further ado, I will share what I've been stitching on. So last week I was getting ready to start Stargazer. Yeah, I filmed on Tuesday, so I was done with Furry Animals rotation. So I was gonna start working on Stargazer, and oh, that's right, because I filmed on Tuesday last week. So Tuesday is when my diamond painting supplies came. I did not work on her at all on Tuesday because I was sorting the beads into my little boxes. And Wednesday, I don't think I got any time either because I don't think I had time for much of anything on Wednesday. It was a rough week for stitching, I guess. I did do a little bit on Friday for Belinda, Aussie Stitcher's birthday, not as much as I would have liked. And I did a little bit at the Stitchy meetup and was able to finish her face. And then I did some beading on Saturday night. So most all of the stitching I did on this was just 1 day of stitching. Maybe a little bit of 2 days. So instead of a 5-day rotation, it ended up being 2 days. So that's the way it goes, I guess. So this is what she looked like before. And here she is now. So I finished her face there in at Panera at our Stitchy meetup and got her backstitched. I always do my skin 2/2 unless it is charted otherwise, because I don't see the need to make 4 times as work for yourself. And this would be an easy one to do 2/2 or 1/1 skin because there's not that much skin, but I still am convinced it's not necessary unless the designer has charted it. Like a lot of Teresa Wentzler's have charted 1/1 skin because their details are meant to be 1/1, and it just can't work the other way. So I will do it if it's charted by the designer, but not otherwise. And then I decided to do a few of the beads. 3 different colors of beads, and it's hard to tell. You can kind of see there. These ones are gold. They were supposed to be champagne colored beads, these little petite beads. Only when I did my conversion, this bead is also found in her dress, and I converted it to gold to match her ribbons. And I didn't realize it was also in the sky. I don't have this color in this size bead in champagne, but I thought, you know what? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll bring in some of the warmth of her color conversion by having the gold in the sky as well. And it's kind of there, you can see the colors a little better. There's gold and then blue and green, and these are normal Mill Hill size beads. These are petite beads, these gold ones. And then these are Magnifica green beads, which look a lot like Delica beads. They're like the tube that's been cut. And then these are giant size 6 seed beads that I'm putting a full cross in to make sure those are secure. And I've decided to just do navy DMC. I was thinking of doing Nymo, which I still haven't procured yet, which could work potentially. I love using DMC though; it's so easy. I thought about using light colored thread to go with the beads, and then I realized the bead color changes so frequently that it would be easier just to have one color. So I'll just use navy to match the sky, and I think it turned out good. So I got like 1 and a little bit length of thread, beaded there. There's a lot more to go, and there's even some stitching up here in the star. So that will be forthcoming next time I work on this, and hopefully I'll get more than 2 days on it when it comes out again in March. And this is 32 count linen that I dyed myself with denim RIT, double dyed. I didn't dye it twice, but I used double the amount of dye. And it turned out really good. It's the only fabric I've ever dyed. I don't know that I will do much else in the way of dyeing, but I had a hard time finding a nice rich color that wasn't super expensive. Lakeside Linens has one that's like a double dyed dark midnight color, but it's twice as expensive as their already expensive fabric, so because it had been double dyed. So my frugal nature really resisted that. So I went ahead and tried my handed dyeing, and it turned out really good. So the next thing I worked on Sunday was Dragon Ride. Again, not a whole lot of time on Sunday. This is what Dragon Ride looks like by Teresa Wensler. And I went ahead and worked on it a little bit more yesterday because I wasn't happy with how far I got on Sunday. So this is what that looked like before. And here it is now. And I was able to finish all of that color, which is my goal I really wanted to get to this time. So I got like half of a string done on Monday, and I'm like, that, or Sunday. That is ridiculous. So I ended up finishing it up yesterday. So I finished all of these pinions here. This is a back foot. This is the end of his tail. It like wraps around here, or maybe it starts here, wraps around here, and then goes in. I can't remember how it works. This is like the bottom of something on his tail. So that's down there. And then this is his body and 2 more feet down here. So my next thought was thinking of picking one of these yellow colors and doing that everywhere to get some more structure for where all the yellow is going to go, because it's another major chunk of colors. But then I asked my son, what do you want me to work on next? And I told him that was one of my thoughts. And he said, well, is the head done? And I said, well, there's a lot done on it. He's like, dude, work more on the head. So next month, I'll bring it out. I'll try to work more on the head and maybe get to a point where I can put some back stitching in. The trick with working on one section at a time rather than one color on this one is a lot of the colors are blended. So I like for these, like I would do the handful of stitches that are here and then do it everywhere else I found it, just to use up my thread. So I wasn't having to constantly switch out the blended threads. But we'll see how it goes next time. If I just do those colors and put the blended threads back, or work them elsewhere, because I think it would be nice for his sake to get some details put into that face, because that's his favorite part. So that's what I'm gonna look into doing next time. And that'll come out again on March 24th. Then, yesterday was Midsummer Roses, day 1 of 3, and I worked on this an itty bitty bit. Again, not a lot of stitching time. Story of my life, right? So this is Midsummer Roses by Paulo Vaughn, and this is my oldest whip. It is likely, I have a 1996 written on here is when I received it, so it's probably close to that, which is almost 23 years old. So I need to finish this. And I was actually pretty motivated to work on this. I just didn't have time. So this is what that looked like last time I showed you, since I didn't get a chance to show you before I pulled it out. And this is where it's at now. I worked on these flowers right here in the light pink. So these flowers are done with their cross stitching. So my goal in the next couple days, not today because today is my H Fairy day, but the next 2 days, is to finish out all these pink flowers with that light pink and hopefully get to another color. I really want to make some progress on this. This needs to get done. I want it to get done. It's really pretty. It's not that big. This is 14 count antique white Aida, and this chunk was done probably back in high school. And this bit, I think, was done more recently. And then the rest of this was started up again last year. So let's do it. So this will see more love on Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesdays traditionally are poor stitching days, so we shall see. I'm a busy girl. I don't know. So then today I will be working on my H Fairy. So I'll go ahead and show you that now. This is by Nora Corbett. It's for my niece, and I'll be giving this today. I work on this one day every month. And here is where I'm at right now. So on my needle, I have the letter color, Old Salem Spell by Victorian Motto. So I'll probably finish that up, which it'll go over here, and then I'll probably work down this leg until the string runs out, and then I'll do maybe more beading, finish her dress, do more up here. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see what kind of time I have. My parents are going to visit this afternoon, so I should have some time to stitch today. Bible study tonight, though, so I won't get stitching time tonight. So hopefully I can work on this afternoon when my mom's visiting. And she can knit, and I can stitch, and it'll be great. So, this week I also made good progress on my travel piece. I'm working on July by the Little House Needleworks, and this is what that looked like before. And here's where it is now. I finished both buckets, pots of flowers. I finished these flowers just yesterday, and the grass, and then all the green little bits in the border. So what's left is the table that these pots are sitting on, and then the 2 shades of pink in the border. So not too much longer. So hopefully it'd be really cool if I could finish it this week, but that might be overzealous. So we'll have to wait and see about that. Sometimes I am in the mood to stitch, and sometimes I'm not, but knowing that those chunks should go pretty quickly. They're fairly monotonous, but like the table is kind of big, even though it's a lot of, I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully those things will get done. That will get done soon, and then I'll move on to August. Then I only worked on Caterpillar cross stitch one day, Sunday night, I believe it was. So this is what that looked like before. And this one works best if I tuck it around. And this is where I'm at now. Not a whole lot of change. I finished the dark green in here and then started in on the light green, which is like 5 stitches. So really not much at all. So this is done, and that. And then I'll continue to pull this out for travel stitching, or home travel stitching here at home. And then, sorry about the ums. I keep saying that a lot. I will give it another 3 days in March for main stitching as well. Try to finish that up. And I worked on my temperature pieces. I have my hot air balloons as one of my patterns in my Etsy shop. Let's see. And I am not caught up on this, but this is what it looked like before, and here it is now. So by the end of the week, this balloon will be finished, and I'll get to start in on the next balloon, so that'll be fun. I had gotten behind on my temperature quilt as well because of the diamond painting supplies showing up, and I kept up with this. And then on our stitching meetup, I worked on my quilt because Shelly was working on her quilt, and I had a lot to catch up on. So I caught up on the temperature quilt, which is this one, also one of my patterns. I caught up on this at the stitching meetup, but I didn't work on the balloons there because I wanted to work on Stargazer, and we were running out of time. So I'm currently slightly behind on both. So hopefully when they come out again, which is every other day, like I don't remember which one is today, but I will just go back to wherever I left off and hopefully get caught up again. So this is what my quilt looked like before, and here it is now. And what I had to do to get caught up at the stitching meetup met right to where I had finished doing my sashing. So I guess the next time I work on this, I'm going to have to do some sashing first before I do the rest of these blocks. So I have to take that into consideration too. So there's my temperature quilt. Again, this column will be done before the end of the week if I keep up on it, and I'll start over here. And yeah, I can do the next column before doing more up there So that'll be good. So those are my temperature patterns I'm working on now. You can find those in my Etsy shop if you so desired. A lot of you are already working on them, and it's fun to see your progress. And so going forward into March, which starts on Friday, I'll be working on my husband's Simpsons piece on the 1st. I got maybe a little bit more charting since my last video, but not much. So I think the top row of pages is finished, so I might print those out. And I may work more just in Homer to get him a little bit more done, but I am also tempted to like hop skip over all of these outlines and get to, you know, outline things a little bit more on the top. Because I could work on filling in their hands or filling in her hair. I may not get all the way over there. It's only one day, but if I can get some more outlining done on the top, then I have more places I can work. So we'll see what I get to on that day. That's a Friday, and Fridays can be good days for stitching, so we'll have to wait and see how it goes. And then Saturday is the 2nd, so I'll work on Touchdown for my son. This is my Broncos and Raiders conversion with John Elway and Charles Woodson. So this is where this is now. And I like being able to see the blue, so yeah. So I am working currently in Charles Woodson to get him a little bit more done so that I think I'm going to work more in his jersey so I can get his helmet backstitched. So that'll be cool. And then I can work more in his pants and get all this area backstitched. So I don't know what I'll have time for, but at least the goal I think is to finish more jersey so I can do some backstitching in his face so you can see his details a little bit better. And then this month coming forward, so far, unless I change things up, will look a lot like last month because I didn't meet any goals. So my Golden Kite piece, Waterfall in Yosemite, I'll bring that back out on the 3rd, on Sunday. Continue to try to finish the sky. I don't think I brought that out with me. I could show you what it looks like last time I showed it to you because I haven't worked on it since then. Part of me is tempted to switch after I finish a page on this, but let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Because I want to work on a variety of things. So I'm close to a page finish on Waterfall, and so I'm tempted to get my page finish and then move on to my next Golden Kite to get a page finish, rather than get a row finish, because the row finish would include 3 page finishes, and they've all got stitching on them already, and the last one is not a full page, but still, it seems like a lot to keep bringing it out every time. So I may just, let me know what you think, if I should just stop at a page finish and go on to Knitting Woman and try to get a page finish on that one, and then go on to the next, whichever one is calling to me. I will also work on Adventure Awaits, then I'll probably pull out Furry Animals Freebie, try to get that finished. Then I'll pull out Stargazer again, and hopefully spend 5 days on it, and then I'll pull out Midsummer Roses. And so, punctuated with the 6 pieces I'm doing 1 day a month on, which is exactly what I did this last month. So hopefully I can start chipping away at those goals and be able to switch things out for April. So I don't know. It seems a little bit boring, but I do want to get those things accomplished. So let's just go with it. It feels like life is just flying by with not a lot to show for it, stitching wise. But I need to remember that stitching is not all of life, and so there's a lot more to life than stitching. And whatever I get done is frosting on the cake. So I will leave it there. I think that's everything I wanted to show you. Oh, I didn't show you where Simpsons looks right now. This is where Homer is right now. So I may do more in him and then work my way over here too with some more outlining. And I also thought if you were interested in how the diamond painting canvas arrived, it came rolled up over this foam tube. It was rolled up really tight, so it didn't get any creases in it from being squished in transit. And then all I had to do was just lay it flat on the table, and I set my boxes and some different things on top for a couple days, and it's fine. It's not curled up anymore. It lays flat when I want it to, and it doesn't have creases. So that was a nice way of packaging, and a tip for if you want your canvas to lay flat. After it's been curled, just lay it flat, put a little bit of weight on it, and it'll resolve itself soon. So with that, I will leave you till next week, and enjoy your stitching. And hopefully it'll start to be spring where you are. I think spring is thinking about showing up here too. So happy stitching. Bye.